Hello friends, welcome to the online classes on market structure part 2, imperfect competition, monopoly. In the last class we learned a perfect competition market and the price and output determination under perfect competition market. Perfect competition market, we learned that perfect competition market arises where there are large number of sellers and large number of buyers dealing with homogeneous commodities, having free entry and exit with uniform price. Then how the price and output determination happens in perfect competition market? We learned also that the price and output will be determined under perfect competition market by the interaction of forces of demand and supply. Let us think that if suppose there is only one seller for the product in a market. Let us think that if suppose in a market there is only one seller for the product, like Indian Railway. I think all of you learn or know about Indian Railway. Indian Railway is like Indian Railway. All of you know about Indian Railway. It is operated by the government of India. There is only one Indian Railway. There is no alternative to Indian Railway. So it is public concern. There is no private railway in India. It means in our mind the doubt arises, if there is only one seller in the market, what kind of market it is? How the price and output is determined here? It is quite opposite to the perfect competition market, To clear these doubts, we need to understand monopoly. So, now we are discussing about monopoly. Monopoly. So, the term monopoly is derived from the Greek term monopoly. Mono means single, poly means seller. Therefore, monopoly means a single seller in the market. Monopoly means single seller in the market. Now we shall go to the meaning of monopoly. What is the meaning of monopoly? Monopoly means a market situation in which there is only one seller for the product. You see, monopoly means there is only one seller for the product having large number of buyers. with large number of buyers having no close substitutes, no close substitutes, having or with strong restrictions to the entry of new firms to the industry, and the seller has full control over the supply of commodity and on price. This is what the meaning of a monopoly. So monopoly means that there is only one seller for the product with large number of buyers, having no close substitute with strong restrictions to the entry of new firms to the industry, and the seller has full control over the supply of commodity and on fixing the price. So this is all about meaning. So there will be single seller or only one seller in the market. There are large number of buyers. To the monopolist product, there will be no close substitute, and there is a strict barrier to the entry of new firms into the industry, and the seller has full control over the supply of commodity and on fixing the price. Let us discuss about definitions. You see, monopoly is a market situation according to Gotsianis. Monopoly is a market situation in which there is a single seller. There are no close substitutes. There are no close substitutes of the commodity it produces. There are barriers to the entry. You see, the definition given by the Kotsianis is that monopoly is a market situation in which there is a single seller. He says what we observed in the meaning, he says also same. There will be only one seller in the market. There are no close substitutes for the commodity it produces. There is no close substitute of the product commodity it produces, or there are no close substitutes of the commodity what it produces. To the monopolists, what it means to the monopolists product, there will be no close substitute. There are barriers to the entry. Means there are greater restrictions upon the entry of new firms into the industry. So three characteristics we can able to see here. One is there is only one seller in the market. There will be no close substitute for the product of monopolist, and there are strict restrictions on the entry of new firms into the industry. Let us discuss another definition given by Ferguson. What he says, let us see. A pure monopoly exists when there is only one producer in the market. A pure monopoly exists when there is only one producer in the market. There are no direct competitions. This definition is given by Ferguson. Let us see. What the Ferguson says, a pure monopoly exists when there is only one producer in the market. There are no direct competitions. Excuse me. So let us see what Ferguson says about monopoly. He says a pure monopoly exists when there is only one producer in the market. There are no direct competitions. Here also same. So in a market, when there is only one seller, it is called as monopoly market. There are no direct competitions, means there is no close substitutes at all, and there will be no competitors. Only one seller will be in the market. So this is all about this monopoly definitions. Both of the definitions says the same meaning, that there is only one seller in the market, and for the monopolists products there will be no close substitutes, and there is a strict barrier to the entry of a new firm into the industry, like that. Let us study the features. Only one seller in the market. Large number of buyers. Second one. Third one. No close substitutes. Fourth one. No competition. Fifth one. He is the price maker. Sixth one. Price discrimination. Seventh one. Controlling power over the supply. Eighth one. Barrier to the entry of new firm. Barrier to the entry of new firm. Ninth one. No difference between firm and industry. Informative selling cost. No difference between firm and industry. Ninth one. Tenth one, informative selling cost. Last one, the nature of demand curve. Nature of demand curve. So these are all the features. You see, only one seller in the market, large number of buyers, no close substitutes, no competition, he is the price maker, price discrimination, controlling power over the supply, barrier to the entry of a new firm into the industry, no difference between firm and industry, informative selling cost, the nature of the demand curve. Now let us discuss one by one here. Only one seller in the market. You see, we took the example here in the initial, at the introduction stage, as an Indian Railway, the best example. How many railways are there in India? There is only one railway, that is Indian Railway. Means only one service provider, railway service provider in India, or only one seller in the market, railway market. If you come to the Bangalore, metro is another example. If you take a Bangalore, Hyderabad, Delhi, Kolkata, like this, metro is the best example. Another example is available here. So only one seller is in the market. So in what forum this single seller can be in the market? He may be a sole trader or sole seller or individual seller, means alone, or the monopoly may be in the form of partnership firm, or also it may be in the form of joint stock company. When there is only one seller in the market, naturally he is having a single selling power with him, and due to that he is acting in any manner to get maximum profit. Definitely his intention will be to earn maximum profit only. Next, there are large number of buyers. As you know, Indian Railway is alone. How many number of travelers or railway passengers you are seeing? Plenty, crores together customers we are seeing, crores together buyers we are seeing. Means always there will be large number of buyers in the monopoly market. But the question arises, what is the position of this buyer in the monopoly market? Can he influence over the price fixed by the monopolist? The question. No. An individual buyer cannot able to influence over the price fixed by the monopolist, because he is a very tiny or is a very minute when compared to the total market demand. His demand is very tiny. No close substitutes. There is no close substitutes for the product produced by the monopolist. It means there is no alternative to the monopolist product. Whatever the price charged by him, we have to pay and buy the product. There is no other way left. So, buyers have no choice at all. Either they have to buy the goods or else go home without the products. Next is no competition. There is only one seller in the monopoly market for the product. It means he got monopoly right. In addition, because of this right, no new seller can enter into the market. Naturally, there will be no competitor. And it means under monopoly, we understood that there is a complete absence of competition. So, monopoly does not exist when there is competition. Thus, a monopolist do not face competition. Next, he is the price maker. We already know that under monopoly there is no competitors. Monopolist is a single seller in the market for his product. There is no close substitute for his product. So, he can fix the price for his product as he likes. He can increase the price or he can decrease the price for his product. Thus, he is a price maker. So, one of the unique thing we are going to study here, if he controls, having a right to control the production of output, if he controls the production of output, the buyers will determine the price. If he fixes the price for his product, the quantity of a supply will be decided by the buyers. Price discrimination is the sixth one. Under monopoly, seller got the right to produce the product or a right to fix the price. Monopolist charges different prices for different customers for the same product. This is one of the unique characteristic of monopolist. For example, Indian Railway charges different prices for the different age group of passengers for the same journey. Railway fare for children up to 5 years is nil. Up to 5 years, nil. 5 to 11 year, maybe half charge. Then 12 to 60, full charge. Then above 60 years of age, the railway treat the citizens as the Indian Railway treat the passengers as senior citizens against their age proof, and it offers 30% less in fares, railway fare. So this is how we are seeing the price discrimination. Now, controlling power over the supply. Monopolist got full right to produce his product. He can determine his output. The determination of output will be purely based on his maximum profit. As he is the monopolist, Always he wants to earn a maximum profit. So in earning the maximum profit, he is going to determine the total output, how much to produce and how much to supply. He can produce more and supply more. He can produce less and supply less. Next, barrier to the entry of new firm. Barriers to the entry of a new firm includes economies of scale. It is due to economies of scale the seller got a natural monopoly power. Best example is Indian Railway. You see, on Indian Railway, the government has invested huge amount of money. The investment, all of you know that Indian Railway is running all over India from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari we can travel. Means investment is heavy, fixed cost is heavy. And this kind of investment brings them the monopoly power. That is what we call as natural monopoly. So what this Indian Railway is requiring, laying of a railway lane, infrastructure, IT, ICT, like this acquisition of land, etc., all these matter in total leads to heavy investment, and one cannot able to invest such amount of money, and this is one of the best example. And another matter is metro. You know, all of you know, in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Delhi, Kolkata, we are enjoying metro traveling. Very speed and with AC we are traveling. Means all of you know this metro. It also involves a heavy investment, so that one cannot invest such amount of money on it. So it is also in the way of monopoly. Such investment, heavy investment, made Government of India to hold monopoly power over the metro service also. In electricity supply, you see, electricity building, electricity supplying grid, and it takes a heavy investment. Electricity, laying of electricity lines, electricity poles, transformers, and also they require infrastructure. Nowadays, ICT also. So it involves heavy investment. That heavy investment brings them one monopoly. That is what we called as natural monopoly. In the same way, water supply also brings the same kind of monopoly power to the seller. These are all the natural monopoly. Let us go to the control of physical resource. See, because the people are having a control over the physical supply or physical resources, they got monopoly power. You see, the company which is very well known or renowned company, De Beers, which is having control power over the supply of 80 to 90% of a diamond throughout the world. So we can see globally noted company is De Beers, and because of its supplying power, it got a physical resource monopoly because of physical resource. Next, in India, if we take for example, Coal India Limited, the public sector organization coming under the Navaratna public sector units, it also got a physical resource, control over physical resource. So it's situated in Kolkata, and entire supply is controlled by Coal India Limited, and hence it got one kind of monopoly power. Balco, Bharat Aluminium Company Limited. It is also producing aluminium, and because of producing uh, very huge share of these aluminium products by it, it got its own monopoly power. It is due to the control of physical resource. Let us go to the legal restriction on this competition. Legal restrictions on competition. How the legal restrictions arises on competition? You are from urban or you are maybe from rural areas. Means all of you got ponds or tanks in your native places or native home, and these ponds or tanks are there, that people will get a license to fishing license, obtaining the fishing license in the tank of a village or a taluk or obli like this. And this license, obtaining the license, give him the monopoly power to fishing. So he can catch the fish. No other can enter into catch the fish, even an individual also. So that is what the license will give him that monopoly power. And license to open wine shop. So simply an ordinary layman cannot able to open the wine shops. To open the wine shop, people must have the license. Without license, we cannot open the wine shop. Once you get the license to open wine shop, other person cannot enter or other person cannot open wine shop until and unless he get the license also. Likely the petrol bank. To open the petrol bank, license is required. To get the gas agency, it's also license is required. And to open the financial institution in India, we require permission or authority. To run the quarry, means digging the rocks and shaping it into different sizes like borders, size, jelly, small jelly, baby jelly, batani jelly, or dust like this. So we need to get the license for that also. Or for doing mining also, we require the license, permission from the government, it means. So these are all the legal restriction on competition. No other cannot enter into this business. Next is a patent. You look at the patent means after obtaining the patents, no other can enter into this. So here, what in India you may take, for example, we are having the best example of patent on basmati rice. So patent on basmati rice and patent on pharmaceuticals. So there are so many companies under pharmaceutical, like this Ranbaxy, Veth, Cadila, Torrent, Abbott, Alembic, Colgate, Palmolive, Dr. Reddy's, AstraZeneca, Zydus, Novartis, Colderma, Valles, MSD, Veth, Ipca, Cipla, like this, varieties of pharmaceutical companies are doing R&D. So through R&D, which invest intelligence, Property Right Act, what we are calling IPR, it is what we known as a patent. Because of investing labor, money, and brain, so one can have this kind of patent. One can have this kind of right, which is called as patent right. So this pharmaceutical industry can get the patent right. Telecom and networking can also get. Likely best example is here Apple company can also get patent on its new inventions. Bloomberg publishers can also get, or Bloomberg is also one of the example who got the patent right over their publications. and famous sorry medical devices. On the medical devices, new medical devices are required to cure several kinds of diseases or treat several kinds of diseases, and operating also for dissecting also. So all these includes medical devices. On this also patent is possible. And also now we are moving towards trademarks. So you look at the trademark, we are having a trademark. Best example, we need to protect the shape and the logo and the sign of our product or package of our product. We are going to enregister uh, under the register of companies with the trademarks. So trademark is registered trademark. So here we are having a best example is Pepsi. You know Pepsi. So that is what coming under product and service. So the trademark of Pepsi is coming under a product and service. You know ISI. ISI is a trademark obtained through the certification. So a bureau is there that will certify us. Our product is Indian standard product or ISI certification. And in some cases we are having we are going to our product is the trademark is indicated the geographical area also. Take for example Darjeeling tea. It is because of the indication of geographical area or place. It is also another kind of trademark. Or take for example university or university press. So it is a collective trademark. So for example logo of Apple company products logo. So this is when you are showing a logo, that is a trademark. Logo can also become a trademark. And trademark also will be on the shape of the bottle. Take for example Coca-Cola bottle or Pepsi bottle, or you may think of this Bisleri bottle or Bindu bottle, like this Bejoy's bottle. On the bottle shape we are getting the trademark, and the name also, on the name also we are getting the trademark. And McDonald on the matter symbol and slogan, both on the symbol and slogan we got the trademark. And in case of orange color, we are on the color also we can get the trademark. And logo Volkswagen, Suzuki, Maruti Suzuki, like this also we can get the trademark. So there are varieties of trademark in this slides we are showing. There's a Dell company, ESPN company, Colgate company, TV Media, NBC, Lay's, Kurkure, Nestle company, or like this Subway, STP. So different Walmart, Zippo, Zentek, Visa, and Mastercard, Mobilin, like this Oreo, Oral-B, like this different logos. If you go through if you browse, you can have different what these trademarks. Now we are moving to the copyright. So copyright will be on the sound recording. So if you are singing or any speeches of any great personalities, we are having copyrights. And we are having copyrights on publications also, maybe the books, maybe the newspaper, like this Harry Potter or S.L. Bhairappa's different books, novels, also we are having, and different what this film, on the film also we are having Bahubali first, Bahubali second, or 2.0, like this different films will be registered under Copyrights Act, and CDs also registered under Copyrights Act. So it restricts the entry of a newcomer. Then intimidatory or potential competitors. Intimidatory itself is nothing but threatening the competitor, not or preventing the competitor from entering the business. So what is for example, you all of you are enjoyed Geo mobile. So you see, firstly he is charged very less, and later he charges zero price for his Geo's currency for 3 months, and for 6 extended it to 6 months. So this what it made when Geo reduced the price to the bottom level or zero level. So other cannot enter at that time. Newcomer will not enter at that time. That kind of pricing predator is called as predatory pricing. Or when we are making such a kind of penetrating price, charging very less price, so that one cannot able to produce the product at that price. Cost of production, it is below the cost of production. So what happens? Then newcomer will not enter into the market. It avoids the competitor. So avoiding the competitor, we are keeping, we are calling it as intimidatory potential competitors. Intimidating the potential competitors is another matter. So here we are also looking at another matter, well-known brands. So well-known brands also prevents the newcomer into the industry. So what in the case of you see Ramraj,
Johnson and Johnson, Philips, Sony, Land Rover and Jaguar, Apple, Samsung, HP, Hero, Videocon, Dell,
you see the we shall go
Cafe
to the
Coffee
next
Day.
one, that is no difference between firm and industry. No difference between firm and industry. You look at why it is so. So here, what is the meaning of industry? In the economics, we are looking at the meaning of industry is just nothing but the pool of similar product producing units. The group of or pool of similar product producing units is called as industry. So here, in the case of monopoly, there is only one seller. There is no question of another seller. There is no question of competitors. There is no question of competitors' product differentiation. Hence, when there is only one seller in the market, he is one alone, no other. Means he himself is the firm, he himself is the industry. There is no difference between firm and industry. This is what we found here. And next one is informative selling cost. You look at the informative selling cost. Here what happens in the case of railway, we cannot able to see any advertisement. Do you find any advertisement in case of railway? In case of metro? No, not at all. So at the beginning only they are giving advertisement, or selling cost will be incurred at the time of initial or introduction of product. So if a new line is installed, and if a new route is opened from Bangalore to Chennai or from Bangalore to Mumbai, so once in a while they are going to introduce. Later people will go there, people will use it. So that is the people will travel. No advertisement is required. That is what we call as informative selling cost. Take any matter. So petrol, bank, gas, or rail, it is same. The nature of demand curve. Last one, it is very, very important. So here, demand curve, here what happens? What is the demand in case of monopoly? So here, the total demand made by all the buyers is what the total demand made by all the buyers to the monopolist's product is known to be the So here we are seeing the demand curve is sloping downwards from left to right. O X Y price
Monopolist demand.
revenue quantity demanded or quantity, whatever it may be. You look at here, the demand curve slopes downwards from left to right. This is what the demand shape of the demand curve here. This demand curve slopes downwards because if the monopolist charges high prices, you look at, if he charges high prices, the selling reduces. He cannot sell more. Means demand decreases with the increase in price. So here, what is the demand? Demand for his product is reducing with the increase in price. This is the law of demand. Higher the price, lower will be the demand. Lower the price, higher will be the demand. If the price increases, demand decreases. If the price decreases, demand increases. Look at this. So if the monopolist increases the price, demand is this much only. Demand decreases. If the monopolist decrease the price, the demand will this much increases. The demand increases. This is what we are seeing demand curve, DD curve. You know. So here it is also called as average revenue curve. It is also called as average revenue curve. And here in the average revenue means it's a sales price, average sales, average revenue. So sales proceeds per unit sales price it is. It is also called as price. Here it may also be called as price per unit. So then it is very easy to understand, you see. The demand curve as usual slopes downward from left to right. If the price increases, demand decreases, you see. If the price increases, demand decreases. If the price decreases, demand increases. This is what we are seeing. So this is what increase in demand. This is what decrease in demand. So if the price increases, demand decreases. If the price decreases, demand increases. This is what we are observing. And here, AR is the curve which is called as demand curve or average revenue curve, or it is price per unit curve also, price curve. So then another curve is coming up here, that is what we calling marginal revenue curve. Marginal revenue curve. Marginal revenue means additional revenue obtained by selling additional output. Here, additional revenue obtained by selling additional output is called as marginal revenue. And this is lies below the AR curve. It is very easy to understand. When the shape of the demand curve is sloping downwards from left to right, and it is also called as average revenue curve, it is also called as price, and the marginal revenue curve lies below the average revenue. In this topic, the possibilities of questions may be on the meaning of the monopoly. What do you mean monopoly? What do you mean by monopoly? Or define monopoly. And what is the shape of the demand curve? What is the position of the monopolist under monopoly market? Or what is the position of the seller under monopoly market? Like this, objective questions possibilities are there. And for this simple analytical question, explain the features of monopoly. I think all of you understood about the meaning of monopoly, definitions of monopoly, and the features of monopoly, and the nature of demand exclusively. Thank you very much.